So you are on the verge of starting your Canadian adventure, and the big question is, do you navigate the Canadian immigration process solo or enlist the help of an immigration lawyer or an immigration consultant? Well, let's break it down in this video. Not sure whether you should hire an immigration consultant or an immigration lawyer? Identifying your need is a big step to help you make the right decision. Now let's put it out there. You don't need to hire an immigration consultant or immigration lawyer to be successful in this Canadian immigration process. But sometimes, depending on your needs, it might be the right move to make. If you are like most applicants in the Canadian immigration process, you either don't feel a need to hire an immigration consultant or immigration lawyer, or you can't afford to hire one at this point. However, tens of thousands of applicants have hired regulated Canadian immigration consultants and regulated immigration lawyers to guide them through this process at one point or the other. I was one of those who engaged the services of a regulated Canadian immigration lawyer to help me through the process when I got my refusals and I thought they were untenable. That story I will share with you someday, because there were some mistakes that I made along the way that I feel I can share with you to make you make your decision the right way. So who hires an immigration consultant or immigration lawyer, and why? In today's video, I will share with you some of the people that I feel would need the help of an immigration consultant or a regulated immigration lawyer to guide them through the process to be successful. First off, let's be clear here. There is no requirement for you to hire a regulated immigration consultant or immigration lawyer to be successful in the Canadian immigration process. It is possible to apply for your study permit, your work permit, your permanent residency, and even your citizenship application on your own without the help of any third party. However, if you decide to DIY your own application, that is, do it yourself, you will have to be an expert in this process, and trust me, it's a complex process that you will need to dedicate time and resources to empower yourself so that you will know the deadlines, what the documents that need to be submitted, and all the processes that require for you to be successful. If you have time to educate yourself on all these things, then I'll say go for it. Thousands of people have taken this route of DIY their own application and managed to navigate it successfully, saving themselves thousands of dollars in the process. Because trust me, engaging the service of somebody who is regulated and has been educated about this process is not cheap. And there are enough resources online and information online to be able to educate you and empower you to be able to do your own application all by yourself. Even the Canadian immigration website, that is the IRCC website, has enough information to tell you what you need to do to get your application done all by yourself. And also, there are also successful applicants online who are sharing their experiences for you to learn from, so that you can learn from their mistakes, correct it in your own, to be able to be successful in this application. But if DIY sounds like too much for you, then these are some situations that I think you need to engage the help of somebody who is regulated. That's a regulated immigration lawyer or a regulated immigration consultant to help you maneuver these muddy waters. The first group of people that I think should engage the help of a third party, be it a regulated immigration consultant or a regulated immigration lawyer, to help them, guide them through the process, are people who enjoy convenience and don't enjoy filling forms. For you to be successful in your application, it takes more than just filling forms. Sometimes you need to know where to put the right documents, what kind of documents are required when you are submitting the application. You need to know what kind of documents that you need to use to back your application for it to be successful. Being successful with your application goes beyond just putting together a bunch of documents and dumping it on the immigration officer, hoping that he will approve your visa for one reason or the other. And sometimes the fact that somebody did it one way and it worked doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. No two situations are the same. You need to be able to customize your application based on your situation, because you need to know the right documents to back whatever information you are putting into your forms. And somebody who is regulated will be well educated to be able to point you in the right direction, because guess what? That is the work they've been trained to do. And because they've done it a lot of times, they know what works. And if you decide to engage the services of a regulated immigration lawyer or a regulated immigration consultant, my advice is make sure you do your research. Do your due diligence on that person to make sure that that person is the right person for you. You need to find the right person who will understand your situation and be able to attack it properly. Because trust me, immigration lawyers and immigration consultants don't come cheap. But if you get the right one, it's always worth every single dollar. The second group of people that I think at least should engage the services of somebody who is regulated are people who have been refused previously. Oftentimes, when you are refused, you'll be issued a refusal letter from the IRCC telling you the exact reasons why your application was refused. And from my experience, most applications that are refused are mainly as a result of incomplete application or erroneous documents. That means the person basically uploaded documents that were not supposed to be uploaded. Or sometimes the person might be found to not be eligible for the application that he's applying. Or sometimes the IRCC officer may find out that the person cannot fulfill the requirements of the visa that he or she is applying for because he has not satisfied the financial requirement, or maybe he's not eligible based on the program that he's applying on. And sometimes they'll hit you intend to leave Canada after a temporary stay. But no matter the reason that you were refused on, one thing that you wouldn't want to do is to repeat the same mistakes that you made that caused your first refusal. That is why somebody who is knowledgeable about the whole process might come in and save you money and save you time in the long run. However, sometimes you can tackle refusals on your own if you understand the real reasons why you were refused. When you are refused, the first letter that they send to you sometimes is very generic. Everybody who is getting refused is getting one of those 5 reasons they are always stating. But what you need to know is the exact reason why the visa officer refused your application. That's where the GCMS note always comes in, because if you request for that note, the visa officer is required to write the reasons why he's refusing your visa application. And normally it takes you 30 days to apply for these GCMS notes. Even though sometimes if you are working with a regulated immigration consultant or immigration lawyer, from my experience, they are able to get that notes to come out earlier than expected. But if you need help requesting one, feel free to link it up with me. I'll leave a link in the description area so that I can help you request for one for yourself to help you understand your visa refusal reasons. The third group of people that I feel at least should engage the help of a regulated immigration consultant or lawyer are people who have been committed or been convicted of a crime. Trust me, you don't need to rob a bank or commit murder to be deemed criminally inadmissible to Canada. Some minor crimes can also put you on the IRCC blacklist. So for example, if you have been convicted of petty theft or even dangerous driving, that can even be a problem. If any of these petty thefts are in your past or currently on your record, I think it might be time for you to start looking for a regulated Canadian immigration lawyer to at least go over your application before you decide to submit it. There are ways to overcome criminal conviction and be able to get your application approved. And a regulated Canadian immigration consultant or lawyer might have that knowledge to help you overcome that conviction. Number 4 is you have or you think you might have potential medical inadmissibility concerns. Canadian immigration policies deny entry to people who might have health conditions that might be a danger to public health or which may prove to have excessive burden on the health or social services. As of January 2021, the excessive burden threshold was at 25,689 Canadian dollars per year, which was an increase from the $8,019 the previous year, which means that if it's going to take more than 25,000 to treat that illness, then it might be a problem. But the good news is a public policy was implemented that will grant exception from excessive demand for a lot of people when they are able to meet some particular conditions. So when the applicant is able to meet some conditions, some exceptions can be granted. So many conditions may not cause major problems for you. But the bad news is a lot of candidates will still get the application refused on health concerns because they are not able to justify and prove that actually their concerns are not going to be a burden on the social or health services. So if you have any health concern, you have to note that it is not the condition itself that is necessarily going to be the sticking point for you, but the cost of treatment over time and the possible danger that it might pose to others. That is where it will be an issue for you. So that's where you will need somebody who is qualified enough to be able to explain your case and prove that you can afford to treat yourself and that is not going to be a concern to others. And he'll be able to prove all this in your application to convince the visa officer that you've at least taken care of your issue and it wouldn't be a concern to the Canadian government. And most times, if you fail to at least address this issue in your application, most visa officers will issue you a PFL. That's the procedural fairness letter that will allow you and give you the chance to explain your situation and justify to them that you have made the necessary preparation to take care of yourself. But if you haven't done that already and you get that letter, my advice is that it is time for you to now reach out to somebody who is regulated and is more knowledgeable in that process to be able to help you respond to that letter so that you don't get refusal. Canadian immigration consultants and lawyers are not medical officers, but they have the experience to deal with inadmissibility concerns based on the information that the medical doctors will provide to them. Number 5 is those who are applying through one of those complex immigration programs. There are two groups of people who decide to embark on this Canadian immigration process. There are those who will enter the pool and wait and see. Hopefully they get invited and they apply and everything gets done and that is it. And there are those who would like to explore other possible options that exist beyond just being in the pool. And if you happen to be one of those people who want to explore your options beyond just sitting in the pool when it comes to the express entry, then I think you have to engage the services of somebody who is more regulated and understand the process to help you save costs and at least make your whole journey much more smoother. So these are 5 groups of people that I feel that based on my experience should at least engage the services of a regulated Canadian immigration consultant or a regulated Canadian immigration lawyer if they decide to embark on this Canadian immigration journey to help them navigate these muddy waters and be successful in the long run. So if you can afford it, then try and retain the services of one of these people. If you can't afford it, that's why some of my partnership with Help might come in handy for you. You can reach out to them and see whether if you qualify for the program, they can now pair you with a regulated Canadian immigration lawyer for the 2024 intake to be able to guide you through the process. If you got value out of this video, kindly share with your family and friends so that they can also learn from it, and hit the like button so that YouTube will see value in this video and show it to other people. And if you haven't joined this family already, hit the subscribe button and join this family and let's learn together. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section so that we can all engage and learn from each other. Until the next video, cheers.